The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has been the center point of scrutiny this past week, prompting every famous actor and public personality to express their discontent on behalf of the working class. On Twitter, which is known for its hyper-partisanship of left-leaning talking points, the phrase, "the Great American Tax Heist," was trending as I recorded this video. Claims were made that this tax bill will give mostly tax breaks to the rich, but this is mostly a lie. 80% of all American taxpayers will be seeing a reduction in taxes, and small businesses will also be getting a really good deal out of this. Small businesses are the biggest threat against large-scale corporations, and the competition will be healthy for the market. Competition yields innovation among many other benefits to society. In this infographic, you can see the different income amounts and how they will be affected by the tax cuts. Most people that work at entry-level or unskilled jobs will be seeing a tax cut. Yet cowardly intellectuals come forward on their behalf, on our behalf, using us as political tools in their pursuit of their agenda. As somebody that makes under $30,000 a year, including YouTube, I find it insulting that these people use me and other hardworking people like myself as their pawns. None of these people speak for me, or anyone else with a 9-to-5 job for that matter, although they will insist that they know better for me and for them, and that I am against my own interest. These are people of false championship, misinformation, slander, and lies. They say the other side is the side of big business, but they both are. The entire reason the Democrats are so adamant about low-cost labor is because they need to support low-cost labor to get donations from their big business donors that support them. There are some that only know how to stand for others rather than standing for themselves and what they believe in. They perceive a reality that others are weak and require their help to survive, as they appear to have some sort of hero complex. Not only can others do better on their own, but they will, especially with people like Rosie out of the way. The so-called oppressed do not need somebody to speak on their behalf any more than the so-called haves do. The left-right dynamic serves as a way to keep people busy, unable to come together on important issues, always divided by details of some of the issues that they face. This brings me to the meat of this video. Everyone knows Rosie O'Donnell, if not for her insufferability, then for her adversarial relationship with Donald Trump. This animosity was brought up frequently during last year's election, which was used as a broad brush to paint Trump's disposition towards all women to being that of how he thought of Rosie. Even when I was too young to understand how annoying people like her can be, or how fun they can be to mock, I understood that she was not somebody the average person would want to talk to. Since Donald Trump became president, her Twitter feed has began to read like Chelsea Manning's, almost impossible to interpret at times. Interestingly, Rosie tweeted this out in order to convince, or as some might say, bribe, a public official to spike a tax bill that would benefit the working class that people like Rosie pretend to stand up for. You'll notice that these virtue-signaling frauds have never went to a grocery store and handed out gift cards or anything charitable. I know that some people would make the argument that donating to charity is charitable, but people donate to charity for tax breaks, not to help people. Again, if people like Rosie, or maybe Conrad Kaepernick or whatever his name is, actually cared about poor people, they would hand out money or gift cards to people in bad neighborhoods. I dare them to do this, by the way. They could even bring security with them since they're wealthy enough to afford it. And I would encourage that, as these neighborhoods will likely have a large average crime rate. According to U.S. Code Title 18, Part 1, Chapter 15, Subsection 291, purchase of claims for fees by court officials. Whoever, being a judge, clerk, or deputy clerk of any court of the United States, or a territory or possession thereof, or a United States district attorney, assistant attorney, marshal, deputy marshal, magistrate, judge, or any other person holding any office or employment or position of trust or profit under the United States directly or indirectly, purchases at less than the full face value thereof any claim against the United States for the fee, mileage, or expenses of any witness, juror, deputy marshal, or any other officer of such court shall be fined under this title. Look, I know nothing will come of this. Nothing happens to famous people or wealthy people when they do something unless it angers somebody else who is more important than they are. Not even their careers will be hurt by something like this. Just take a look at Chris Brown, who has somehow not been affected by the Me Too campaign. All is forgiven, right, Chris? Even if any charges are brought against Rosie, the worst she will have to face is going to a resort for a few years, similar to what happened to Martha Stewart. People like her are not like people like you and I. There is one standard for me and another for ye. There is a certain irony, though, from the wealthy television personality using her wealth and influence to push her political agenda. The premise that she is complaining about is that the wealthy are manipulating politics with this tax bill, while she is saying that she will use her wealth to manipulate politics. Like I said, one standard for me and another for ye. The word hypocrite is a bit of an understatement in this sense. These are the people we are dealing with. People who believe that the ends justify the means. They believe there are no bad tactics, just bad targets. But there are bad tactics, and one of those bad tactics is bribery, even if that bribery is so clumsy that it is almost embarrassing to watch.